Hello and welcome to Awaz News. I'm Kubra Ali and I'll be taking you through big news across Canada. Incident at Toronto Hebrew School being investigated as a hate crime, police. Video shows large truck fire that brought traffic to a standstill on EB Highway 41. Uber reviewing legal options after Toronto freezes licenses for rideshare drivers. 8,000 traffic tickets handed out in Ontario over deadly Thanksgiving long weekend. Student stabbed outside Toronto High School, police. Chief says Toronto police boosting presence to reassure community amid Israel-Hamas war. City Council votes to extend alcohol drinking in Toronto Park's pilot program until March 2024. These were the headlines, and now let's jump right into the details. Toronto's police chief says the community can expect to see an enhanced police presence in the face of global online threats stemming from the Israel-Hamas war. We recognize the unique set of circumstances that are at play here and the unique impact that has on Jewish communities as well as the Palestinian communities, and we will be responsive to the concerns that community members have brought forward to us, Chief Maron Demkiw told reporters at a news conference at Toronto Police Headquarters Thursday. He said the Toronto Police Service is committed to ensuring the safety and well-being of all residents of the city and said that the people can expect to see an increased police presence and engagement in the days to come. That will include community command posts where people can approach officers with any safety concerns, as well as increased police presence around schools, community centers, and places of worship, Demkiw said. He said the command and senior leadership has directed that all divisions ensure high visibility presence of officers across the city. Since this past weekend, all officers have been advised to have their uniforms ready and be available for deployment, Demkiw said. And this morning I spoke with all unit commanders to underline this priority. The community command posts are being set up at Bathurst and Lawrence and Bathurst and Nelkane. The arrangements were made in consultation with leaders from the local Jewish and Palestinian communities, the chief said. He said he has personally had calls from dozens of concerned community leaders in the wake of the conflict over the past week. Demkiw said, while TPS regularly monitors global events to be aware of circumstances with a city as diverse as Toronto, the latest situation is absolutely unique. He stressed that there are no specific credible threats in Toronto at the moment. Hamas on Saturday unleashed an unprecedented surprise attack against Israeli citizens, slaughtering people at a music festival and in their homes and carting off civilians as hostages. Israel has responded with a devastating bombardment of the Gaza Strip with the aim of decimating the organization. There have been rallies and demonstrations around the world in the wake of the fighting, including two large ones in Toronto on Monday. 4 counter-protesters were arrested at a rally for Israel and later released without charges, but the demonstrations have largely occurred without incident. The Thanksgiving weekend was a deadly one in Ontario, with 5 people losing their life on the province's roads and waterways. As part of their ongoing effort to stop this tragic and preventable loss of life, Ontario Provincial Police joined Canadian policing partners for a traffic enforcement initiative over the long weekend. Almost 8,000 charges were laid during the campaign called Operation Impact, which was led by the Canadian Association of Chiefs of Police in support of Canada's Road Safety Strategy 2025 and ran from October 6 to 9. Speeding was the most common infraction, with a total of 4,829 charges laid for driving too fast. Another 86 others were laid for stunt driving racing. Police fined 283 drivers and in some cases passengers for seatbelt offences. They also laid 131 impaired driving and 60 distracted driving charges. Motorists are reminded that traffic laws are designed to prevent collisions, injuries, and fatalities, and that they are only effective if drivers comply with them, the OPP said in a news release. Uber Canada said it is reviewing all legal options after the City of Toronto approved a motion to cap the number of rideshare drivers at current levels. The amendment was part of a motion that mandates the use of zero-emissions taxicabs and rideshares by 2031. In the motion, City Council writes that in order to manage current levels of greenhouse gas emissions in vehicle for hire industry, the number of licensed drivers should not surpass October 2023 levels. Staff were asked to report back on comprehensive framework, including emissions, congestion, and transit impacts, by no later than the fourth quarter of 2024. In a statement issued Wednesday night, Uber writes that the motion will ultimately hurt the diverse group of Torontonians who rely on rideshare as part of their transportation mix and those who drive rideshare for additional income, especially in a time of rising costs. This will increase wait times, so the cost of a safe and reliable transportation option for so many while important transit projects are delayed, and the cost of purchasing a vehicle has increased almost 50% in 4 years, spokesperson Keitana Rank said. The company has said it is reviewing its legal options, arguing there was no procedural fairness on council floor. In the statement, Uber said it does support the city's transition to a zero-emissions platform by 2030. Toronto police say they are on scene after a student was reportedly stabbed outside a Toronto high school Thursday afternoon. Police said they were called to the area of Midland Avenue and Lawrence Avenue East at around 1:30 p.m. nearby David and Mary Thompson Collegiate Institute. Officers said a male student was attacked and stabbed outside the school. Paramedics confirmed he was transported to a local hospital to be treated for his serious, non-life-threatening injuries. 2 suspects are in custody, police said, but they did not provide any details about them. Police are investigating an incident at a Toronto Hebrew school on Thursday as a hate crime. In a post to Twitter, police said they received a report that 3 male suspects had attended the Tannenbaum Community Hebrew Academy of Toronto chat in North York and were asked to leave by security. The suspects then made threats to the school located near Shepherd Avenue West and Dufferin Street before they left the property, police said. Police said officers searched the area and located the suspects, all of whom have been arrested. It's unclear what charges, if any, have been laid. A hate crime investigation into the incident is now underway, police said. Speaking to Awaz News, police said the suspects did not interact with students and investigators are not aware of any threats directed at students. No other details about the threat itself or suspects involved were released by police. The eastbound express lanes on Highway 401 have reopened at Allen Road in North York following an early morning truck fire that was caught on video. The footage captured by a viewer and provided to Awaz News shows a large smoky fire. Police said the truck in question ignited after its driver collided with another transport in the center lane. The crash happened at shortly after 6 a.m. on Thursday. Police said that no injuries have been reported. Crews spent hours working to clean up the debris from the collision and the fire, and the roadway reopened shortly after 12 p.m. The collector lanes were not affected by the closure. Torontonians who fancy to crack a cold one during the dead of winter at an outdoor public park will soon be able to do so. On Thursday, City Council approved a motion extending Toronto's alcohol in parks pilot program until March 31, 2024. It was adopted by a vote of 17 to 3. The pilot, initially set to run between August 2nd and October 9, permitted those over 90 to consume beer and other alcoholic beverages in 27 city parks. Most participating locations were in downtown Toronto, while a few were in North York and Scarborough. No parks in Etobicoke opted into the program. In her motion, Toronto Danforth Councillor Paula Fletcher said residents in her ward, where 5 parks are part of the program, have expressed their appreciation for the pilot program as they have enjoyed the ability to have a drink with their family and friends. According to city staff, between August 2nd and September 24th, 2 alcohol-related complaints were made involving the parks participating in the pilot, while 28 were filed in non-participating parks. Generally, the city has found that people compiled with guidelines set out by the Alcohol in Parks pilot program, and the number of complaints received was low, a city spokesperson said early this week. Councillors whose parks were part of the initial pilot run can opt out if they do not want to participate in the extended period. City staff will report back to Council in November to include an updated list of participating parks of any additional safety restrictions required for the winter season that need to be implemented. Results of the initial run of the pilot program are set to be reported to Council sometime in the first quarter of 2024. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kubra Ali. I'll see you back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Have a good night.